Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Supernaturalist, the podcast where we dive deep into the lore, monsters, and legends that inspired Supernatural. I'm your host, Shelley Meyer, and today we're talking about one of the creepiest spirits to ever terrorize a small town, the Hookman. In Supernatural, Season 1, Episode 7, titled Hookman, Sam and Dean face off against a terrifying, vengeful spirit with a hook for a hand. But who is the Hookman? Where did he come from? And how does he get his deadly hook? Where did that come from? Let's break down the chilling tale, how it connects to both folklore and supernatural, and how the Winchesters managed to put an end to the haunting. In Supernatural, the Hookman is revealed to be the ghost of Reverend Jacob Carnes, who lived during the 1800s. Jacob went to prison after committing murders against people he believed to be sinners, immoral, and after his death, he was buried in an unmarked grave, as many criminals in those days were. His belongings, including the hook he used as a prosthetic after losing his own hand, were given to the church where he had once preached. Over time, the church melted down the silver and the hook itself, turning it into a cross, which was later worn by the current pastor's daughter around her neck. But here's the catch. When the Hookman returns as a vengeful spirit, he's seeking to claim revenge, and he uses the very hook that had once been melted down to create that cross. That's where his connection is. This connection to the cross and the silver hook creates a chilling link between the spirit and the innocent people who are now living in the church's shadow and in this small town. This version of the Hookman is more than just a creepy urban legend. He's a ghost driven by anger and revenge, seeking to strike down anyone tied to this church, especially those who carry his cursed silver. Now, in this case, the daughter has no idea what she has around her neck. She just knows her father gave it to her. In Supernatural, the Hookman has a very specific MO. His weapon of choice is that very hook, the twisted symbol of violence and vengeance. He stalks his victims, often targeting young people, and his attacks are brutal and swift, using the hook to maim and kill. What makes the Hookman particularly terrifying is his ability to be summoned or awakened by the presence of the silver that once made up his hook. As soon as the necklace made from the melted down silver crosses the wrong hands, the Hookman is unleashed, and he begins hunting those connected to the church and its history. Now, in this case, the daughter of the preacher is the one wearing the silver from the hook. Again, she doesn't understand that this is happening because of her, not in a bad way. She is a minister's daughter, and she finds that she believes, because of the way she was raised, that anyone who does immoral things should be punished. And because of this cross around her neck and the fact that Jacob was the person who used to murder people because they were sinners, bound the two of them. The minister's daughter, issue with her boyfriend wanting to go too far. Her best friend in college, who she stays with, is a party girl, and she doesn't think that's very moral. Her father, she finds out, is having an affair with a married woman. That's immoral to her. And she was raised to believe that sinning deserved punishment. That's where this all comes in. So the Hookman's pattern is one of torment, and he doesn't just kill. He seeks to cause maximum fear and suffering, reminding his victims of the wrongs that were done to him and the wrongs that they're doing. The Hookman is relentless, and there's no escaping the wrath of his spirit until the tie to the silver is severed. That was a tongue twister. In folklore, the Hookman is a popular urban legend. The most common version is a story of a disfigured killer with a hook for a hand, and he preys on young couples in isolated areas. The legend plays on that fear of the unknown, where you're vulnerable, alone, and unable to defend yourself. so anything could be lurking in the shadow. The Hookman has been featured in various versions across different cultures, often as the symbol of retribution or a warning about dangerous strangers. In many tales, the Hookman is a product of karma or revenge, someone who has been wronged and seeks justice, but often in a violent, merciless way. However, in Supernatural, the Hookman is given a deeper backstory. He's not just a random killer. He's a spirit with a history, a person who was wronged in life and has come back to exact his revenge on those connected to him and the church and immoral behavior. The hook as a weapon becomes more than just a tool for violence. It's really a symbol of his unresolved rage and quest for vengeance. In folklore, the Hookman is sometimes defeated by exposing him for what he is, showing that he's just a ghost or destroying the object he uses to commit his murders, in this case, the hook. In Supernatural, the solution is similar, but with a little bit of a twist. To defeat the Hookman, Sam and Dean need to address the core of this curse, the hook. Turns out that the hook was made of silver, and the silver in the hook was melted down to form a cross, which is worn by the minister's daughter. This necklace becomes the key to the Hookman's power, and the only way to stop him is by removing the silver, destroying its connection to the spirit itself. Sam and Dean realize that the Hookman can be killed by burning the silver, and in the final moments of the episode, Dean has to act very fast. He gathers all the silver from both the pastor's house and the church and throws it into the furnace. The silver cross, which was worn by the pastor's daughter, is crucial in this story. And just in time, Dean throws the cross into the furnace and the Hookman's spirit burns away, ending the terror. So in conclusion, the Hookman in Supernatural is a powerful reminder of the destructive force of vengeance. Jacob's death, which left a lingering curse in itself, caused a cycle of violence that only ended when his connection to the silver was severed. In the world of Supernatural, monsters are often driven by past wrongs, whether personal or historical, and the only way to stop them is to confront the past. The Hookman also represents the idea of retribution, showing that sometimes spirits are bound to the mortal world by unresolved anger. Only by confronting the source of that anger, in this case the silver, could the Hookman be put to rest. So the next time you're near an old church or in a dusty attic with mysterious objects, just remember, sometimes the ghosts of the past are tied to more than just memories. They're also bound to the very objects they left behind. So that's it for today's episode of Supernaturalist. I hope this deep dive into the Hookman and the lore behind one of Supernatural's creepiest spirits gave you a better understanding of both the myth and the show's interpretation. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and join me next week as we continue exploring the supernatural world of Supernatural. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, don't trust everything you see, and don't mess with silver.